Welcome back to your Detroit Now.
I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to take a stand, take a stand. Everybody, let's come together through the storm, whatever weather, come the war. Just let me know that you're not alone. I'll give you
Yeah, that's right. We're back. Unfortunately, we don't have the zebra chairs, but it's still same old Emilio Ruma and Musa Safadine. Today we're going to be talking about the Lions game and some of baseball. That's right. We're going to be talking about baseball on this channel, and we're going to go through the MSU and Michigan games on Saturday. You ready?
I'm ready. So let's start it off with the fresh issue Lions first week of the regular season. I'll let you start us off, Moose.
Let's just say we really need Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn back.
Yeah, I mean, week one was nothing fun at all. I was telling my brother as I'm going through this game, kind of prepping for this show, I was like, I have nothing positive to say.
Nothing. It was just bad play calling. Didn't Jared Goff never threw the ball deep. He threw for like about five passes that went for six. He threw six passes that went for 5 yards.
Yeah, it was just embarrassing to see one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. And that's what all the pregame was. The CBS pregame show talked about how accurate Jared Goff was. And the entire time of the game, we're just screaming at the TV, throw the ball, throw the ball. So, yeah, like you said, six passes over 5 yards is tough to see. And we saw the running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, 22 touches total.
That
So
went for about what, like 30, 40 yards.
yeah, so the team averaged 2.1 rushing yards a play. Embarrassing. Jahmyr Gibbs' highest rushing play was 14 yards. So like we were kind of just talking about, nothing great to see out of the offense. Let's talk about the new offensive coordinator, John Morton. Um,
And Kevin Shepard.
yeah, but let's start with Jonathan Morton. So we saw the first time he gets to play with the starters. We saw him in preseason. We saw what he was able to do. And there was some promise, some potential, but his first time with the starters, I was pretty underwhelmed.
Yeah, it was really underwhelming. It's fine, but I said into my head, I just gotta pretend this is a preseason game. It won't matter. Even though it does, but I just gotta pretend it's a preseason game, even though we got
Yeah,
humiliated.
that's probably the right mentality. Now let's go to Calvin Shepard, the defensive coordinator, Musa. Going back through history, I went back and I recorded all the scores that Aaron Glenn had against Green Bay. So we're talking 35-17 Packers, 37-30 Lions, 15-9 Lions, 20-16 Lions, 34-20 Lions, 29-22 Packers, 24-14 Lions, 34-31 Lions, 27-13 Packers. So I was going through the stats and I found that historically, when we've played Green Bay, most of the time it has been a high scoring game. Now, there's some exceptions in that. One time we held them to 14, one time we held them to 9, one time we held them to 16, but the rest have all been 20 plus points. So that's telling me, our new defensive coordinator, Kelvin Shepard, probably did a pretty decent job. Again, week one, very tough to tell right away, but I'll let you go into more depth on that.
Yeah, I think Calvin Shepard did pretty decent as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to Jordan Love. I was very disappointed in Aiden. I thought he was gonna have a big game. Disappointed in the secondary. Uh, yeah, but there's no one to blame. There's actually no excuses. A little bad calls on the refs. Do you agree that pick six should have counted? The Jared Goff pick to the defense. I thought that was incomplete.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that pick six that the Lions had was a bit of a soft call, but if you look at the letter of the law, it technically was holding. So I understand the flag. As a Lions fan, I don't love it, but I do understand it. I didn't feel like we put ourselves in a position where uh, it was so bad that I don't even think we can blame the refs. I mean, to score 6 points for, all but the last minute of the game is embarrassing. Embarrassing.
And that Jaden Reed touchdown, it was kind of pick blocking. You know what that is? A pick blocking is where like the receivers push off on the DBs, and that's where they leave another receiver wide open for a huge gain. That's what happened to that Jaden Reed touchdown. Number 13 bumped into Tiana Arnold on purpose, and that's what got caused him to score six.
Yeah. The Packers really exposed us on all ends, I think, on the offensive side of the ball, clearly. The way they were, the first drive of the game, marched down the field, touchdown.
That was just a terrible game. On the bright side, Isaac Tesla catch of the year.
That was pretty awesome. That one-handed catch that had to go to review. I mean, I was watching it, and then when they said it's no catch, I was like, I think the left foot landed inbounds
Yeah,
while he had to
you
catch
could
it.
barely tell too. Like you couldn't tell if his left foot went in until you saw the drag when he hit the white line.
It was awesome. And then, like you said, like in our pregame show, how we were just talking, why wasn't Tesla in the whole game?
I know. Yeah, Khalif Raymond was wide receiver three, and I was like, why would you put in Khalif Raymond and not put in Isaac Tesla? Then what was the point of trading Tim Patrick?
Exactly. I mean, Tim Patrick did everything we asked of him and more in the back stretch of the season. We drafted this new kid, Tesla, and he did outstanding in the preseason as well. So I was just a little confused, like you said.
I predicted a potential steal of the draft. Remember that? Our first
I
episode.
remember you said that. That was in the first episode.
Let's talk about some of the stats around the game. Jared Goff, 31 for 39, a touchdown and a pick for 225 yards. Jordan Love definitely beat him in that stat. Our rushing leader was David Montgomery with 11 carries for 25 yards. Definitely Josh Jacobs beat him in that. Receiving yards, Sam Laporta was that leader, 6 receptions for 79 yards. He had a good game, decent game, I should say. We had no sacks. Jack Campbell was our leading tackler with 9 for 5 solo.
Yeah, I don't think the stats really tell how bad of a game the Lions played. That last kind of quarter-ish, that last half of a quarter really saved them in the stats world. But watching the game, I felt like the Lions never got into a rhythm. I felt like we never had anything going. So, um, and let's kind of talk about it. Jared Goff's QBR, 76.3, wildly low for a quarterback of his caliber. And I want to preface again, this is only week one, so we're not acting like the season's over. But we are really
Don't
emphasizing
want
that
to
the
see us.
Lions have some
You
stuff
don't
to
want
turn
to see
around.
us starting the season 0-1.
Not at all, especially the team we had last year, number one overall in the NFC. Um, yeah, don't want to be in the spot we're in now.
Now let's go into some of the team stats around. The Lions had 246, the Packers had 266. They definitely beat us in that. We only had one turnover the entire game. Not too terrible, but the Packers had zero, so they definitely beat us in that. We beat them in first down, 16-14. Um, we beat them in penalty. Yeah, we beat them in penalty 7 for 4, but they had more yards after the penalties. We beat them in no, but we kind of beat them in third down conversions. We had 5 for 15, but they had 4 for 10. So I guess you could say why we both won and lost that one. We Again, for fourth down conversions, we kind of won and kind of lost in that 3 for 4. We had 3 for 4. They had 1 for 1. And but our red zone 1 for 4. They had 3 for 5. Terrible. And possession time, we had 35 minutes and 25 seconds. They had 24 minutes and 35 seconds.
Let's break down that time of possession one a little bit more, Musa. Let's look at the fact that we had 11 more minutes with the ball than they did, and we scored so much less than them. We scored 14 points less than them. I mean, you really can't do that if you have 10 more minutes of the clock. They were so efficient with the ball.
It was just our coordinating that kind of killed us in this game.
I was not a fan of the play calling.
I was not. The only trick play we had was that Jamal ended around and it went for 3 yards. That was the only trick play.
Right. All right. I think that's all we should probably talk about for this week's game. I don't think we're going to get anything beneficial out of continuing to uh, talk about the performance. I think the Lions know what they need to work on. But let's shift our focus to next week's game against the Bears, against Ben Johnson's new team. Musa, what do you think the Lions need to do to play better, and what do you want to see out
Set
of the
up.
Detroit Lions?
They need to set up a defense to contain um Caleb Williams in the pocket. We cannot let him get outside the pocket because, as his resume says, he'll somehow complete the weirdest passes when he's running outside the hashes. And give Jamo the ball. This today I saw him get pressed 5 times with no safety, and Jared never threw it to him.
After he just came off a massive contract extension last night.
I know.
And I think what I want to see out of the offense is I want to see Jared Goff take some more shots down the field. I mean, seriously, throw the ball. You're one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. Let's throw the ball. The run game didn't work in the first quarter, didn't work in the second quarter, didn't work in the third quarter. And to nobody's surprise, it didn't work in the fourth quarter. Throw the ball if the run game doesn't work.
Like you said, if the run game doesn't work, then pass it. And if you're gonna pass it, maybe take a deep shot for once, because I never saw him take a deep shot that was completed.
Yeah, you're exactly right. His longest pass of the day was 32 yards to
And it
Laporta.
was like and it was like a medium pass that he had to run after the catch. It wasn't like a deep shot.
Right. So, like you said, a lot to work on. And I think Aaron Rodgers talked about it before his game today. You're going to see a massive, massive increase of performance between week 1 and week 2. So, just looking forward to the increase of performance and hope the Lions play better.
And hopefully I do play better. Well, we're done with some NFL today. Now we're gonna move on to some college football where we're gonna be talking about the Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans and how they played on Saturday. So we'll start with the Wolverines and same with the Lions. Our coordinating sucked.
Yeah, like I kept going in our group chat with I told you guys so. I told you in our preseason episode, or excuse me, in our episode last week, I told you Michigan wasn't going to have what it took, and unfortunately they didn't. So what was the final score in that game?
The final score was 24-13. The only person that played good was Justice Haynes. I love this man so much. He is super, super, super good. He is fantastic. He is amazing. He is my GOAT.
So for some people that missed the game, so what did Justice Haynes do so good?
In the second half, first play, he took it all the way to a house for a 75-yarder. That's how you know this man is special. Sorry if I'm if I'm rage baiting. I'm just so mad about the game. But he's literally our savior, Justice Haynes.
Yeah, I think the Wolverines played good. I think it was actually a lot for Bryce Underwood.
Too
I think he
much.
was overwhelmed. I think they showed him some stuff that he hadn't seen before at the high school level, obviously. And I think they will bounce back from this. But I do think it was a great learning opportunity for the Wolverines.
That's how you know they're gonna get better. Because that's how you know Bryce Underwood's gonna get better. He's gonna take this game. He's gonna use the mistakes on the field, so he'll like never do them again when he versus Western Michigan or Washington or Ohio State. But like, I don't think it's fair when you play I don't care if he's the top freshman in the country. I don't think it's fair when you put a freshman and take him to a stadium where you know where the fans are gonna go crazy. It's just too much for him.
What do you want them to do?
I just don't think it's fair. The Oklahoma has a great stadium. Their fans are crazy. It's too overwhelming for him.
Well, you got to live up to the big lights, Musa.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right, let's move it over to MSU. Michigan State played Boston College in a double overtime win. That was awesome. Come on, you got to be a fan of the game, Moose.
I am a fan of the game. I'm just not a
Michigan's
fan of MSU.
MSU has a better college football record than U of M right now, and you
Well,
did not predict
congratulations
this.
on versing two bottom teams. Well, we had to go against a top 25 team.
Don't you guys play Central Michigan next week?
You're versus Youngstown State. What the heck is Youngstown State?
Listen,
Where even is that?
I I have no idea, but all I know, Michigan State got a desperately needed win, especially after our game against Boston College last year, where Aiden Child threw up a pick with 45 seconds left when he totally didn't have to. We saw Aiden Child. I mean, really, this guy did fantastic the whole game, especially in that post-game interview. Hugs the reporter, hugs the kids, jumps into the stands. Aiden Childs living his best life as a Spartan.
I'm not a Spartan fan. I'm so mad about how we played today and how we played yesterday. It was just a horrible weekend for me for sports. For UofM and Lions fans, this is a horrible weekend.
Right. Well, especially for a true U of M fan, MSU wins, U of M loses, the Lions lose. I mean, and
Right
MS
after the game, I got a text from my friend. He's like, he's an MSU fan. He goes, MSU win, Michigan lost, best day ever.
that kid sounds like a true MSU fan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think what that does actually now is it makes this U of M MSU game much more interesting. If the teams can have similar records going into the game, uh, and if MSU can approach that top 25 spot, I mean, this would be a very interesting game.
It would, I would agree with you. I think it would be a very interesting game. Yeah. You mind if I talk a little bit more about my game against Oklahoma? This offensive coordinating was worse than today's coordinating for the Lions. I'm telling you, Chip Lindsey is he's not Dan Campbell, bro. He's not Dan Campbell. It was literally 4th and 1, 4th and 2 on Oklahoma's field. He kicks it, and they missed it. He's got no balls.
Go for it. You think go for it?
Chicken, yeah. I was saying go for it. 4th and 2. Who kicks it on 4th and 2 on the Oklahoma sideline? And last play of the game, Oklahoma blitzed pretty much the entire game. Yeah, they blitzed on the last play of the game. They blitzed like 8 guys. He knew they were blitzing because they blitzed the entire game, and he still ran the ball. And it was lost for about 2. And this and John Mateer literally cooked us. I knew he was gonna be a problem. I just knew it. Sorry for rage baiting.
No, it's okay.
I'm
You're
just
passionate, Musa. You're
nah,
passionate.
true, a true Michigan and Lions fan. Yeah, that's how. So angry. Worst weekend ever. Well, we're done with some football, talking about football today. We're gonna do something a little different. As your Detroit now is definitely we don't talk about all football, so we're gonna get into a little bit of baseball, and we're gonna be talking about the Tigers, playoff chances and how they played today. Emilio, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, absolutely. So Tigers took a tough loss today against the White Sox. 6-4 was the final score. That with that loss right there, they have lost the last two series in a row against the Mets and against the White Sox. But things are looking promising for the Tigers. Tigers have a 99% chance of going to the playoffs, which is outstanding.
Is that the highest in the league?
That's the highest you can get right now.
Oh, the
Technically 99.
Milwaukee definitely has to be higher.
Well, Milwaukee is higher, but I don't think they've clinched. Milwaukee hasn't clinched officially yet. But the
Oh,
White Sox have been officially eliminated, which is interesting to know. Um, Tigers are sitting at 82 wins flat right now, most wins in the American League. Right behind them are the Toronto Blue Jays, but if you take the win ratio, Toronto Blue Jays are technically in first place as they've played one less game than us. Tigers at the beginning of the season were projected to win a total of 82 games. They're sitting at 82 right now with a final season projected of 91 wins. That's outstanding to win 91 games in a season at the roster we have. Outstanding.
Outstanding.
So let's talk a little bit more about the playoffs. Tigers are most likely going to walk away with this AL Central slot there, the first place AL Central slot. They are 8.5 games ahead of the Royals and 9 games ahead of the Guardians. So we should have no trouble locking that up with all of September left to go.
And the playoffs don't roll around until October, November.
October 1st. Let's get into some hitting stats for the Tigers.
All right.
So we saw the other day Riley Green hit a no doubt grand slam, second farthest grand slam in the StatCast era at 471 feet. Riley Green's really having an awesome back half of the season, sitting at a 269 average, 323 OBP, 508 slugging, 831 OPS, 32 home runs, and 103 RBIs. That's incredible.
Is that the best in baseball?
Not the
Or
best in baseball, but the best on the Tigers for sure. Let's talk about Gleyber Torres, 261 average. That's awesome to see that out of him. 330, 363 OBP, slugging 399, OPS 762, 15 home runs, 66 RBIs. Not right where we want him, but definitely not far behind. Let's talk about Jahmai Jones, highest batting average on the Tigers as a active Tigers roster member, sitting at 276. Now, what do you want to see going into the playoffs? We want to see more offense. We want to see better defense, obviously. But who are we really looking at? We want Spencer Torkelson to be hitting more, more for power. He's got 28 home runs, which is really good. Don't get me wrong, but 72 RBIs is a little low for where we need him in the season right now. Slugging sitting at 459 and OBP at 327. By no means is he doing anything wrong. We would just love to see a little bit more out of that.
is the playoff bracket out like the average, like the playoff bracket so far?
Playoff bracket will not be out for a little bit.
All right.
Nothing. We're not close to things being finalized, and we're still in a pretty tight wild card race here. So Seattle and Texas Rangers are in about a 1 game, 1.5 game race right now in the American League. If we go over to the National League, there's a pretty large gap between the Mets and the Giants. It's about 4 games. Giants can definitely make that up, but 4 games is a lot. Let's talk about the defense, Musa. Let's talk about Tarek Skubal a little bit.
That's good. Well, my opinion. Well, I'm a Tigers. I'm from Detroit. Of course, I'm rooting for them. Probably the best pitcher in baseball.
Oh, 100%. Making a true run at the Cy Young Award, which would be awesome to see a Tiger win back-to-back Cy Youngs.
It would be really awesome.
Okay, Musa, let's talk a little bit more about the pitching staff. So I'm looking at my list here. Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize, Reese Olson. These are solid pitchers. No means near where Tarek Skubal is right now. But what do you want to see in the playoffs? I mean, we want to see the games Tarek Skubal pitches in have to be wins. You want to see Jack Flaherty come back from his World Series win with the Dodgers, and we really got to see some high-level baseball out of him.
Yeah, like you said, in the playoffs, like you said, I think we need to do better offense, better defense. I think Terra Scuba should do awesome in the playoff race. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, 100%. And I think for the Tigers, if we can end up getting the #1 overall seed in the American League, that would be a massive, massive deal. If we can get our pitchers to not have to go through a best-of-3 series, I mean, we can save Tarek Skubal, and we could probably have him pitch an additional game.
Yeah, 100% agree.
So it would be as if going back last year, if the Tigers never had to play the Astros and we could go straight to the Guardians, we'd come in with fresh arms and we could prolong how good our pitchers can last. So it'll be very interesting to see. I hope we don't have to do any kind of pitching chaos like we did last year. But I think AJ Hinch is the guy. He's the one that I would trust to be able to do it better than any other coach in the MLB right now.
I agree. Well, that's it for today's video. Unfortunately, could have been better with the zebra chairs, but again, it's still your guys, Emilio and Musa. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe. Please come watch our next video. This is your Detroit Now.